This is the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
The big man Shaun Darcy's in the house. Well, we expected him to be away because he had a 5 days off from the Fremantle Dockers. We spoke to him last week. What was he going to do, Shaun? What were you going to do last week when you stayed over in Melbourne?
Well, yeah, I was going to head down to Bowen Heads and see the fam and catch up with a few boys.
Four extra days.
How was it?
I jumped straight back on the plane and off I came. Back
Straight to SKG.
Yeah, so,
After doing a hammy in the second quarter.
yeah, 5 minutes into the second, it popped, so...
Have you
So-
done a
so-
hammy before? Is this new
Nah,
for you?
first time. So,
How was it?
yeah, it
Not
was
great.
A weird feeling.
Yeah, tell me, because I've never done it.
It was like,
You have to run.
yeah, it was like you stretch and you overstretch and then feels sort of like a little bit more than a cramp in
Like
your
someone's kind of
hammy, and
stabbing
then I
you.
was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's a bit early to do a cramp.
Yeah.
And then couldn't push off, couldn't run.
Really?
So I was like, oh, this might be something.
So all the boys reckon that it's impossible for you to do a hammy because you don't move quick enough.
Yeah, I know. I thought I was all right because Dave Mundy messaged me after the game. He said I never did one because I wasn't running too fast. So I thought I was in the clear, but no, apparently not.
You're a power athlete.
Exactly.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
I tell you, the first time I ever did a hammy, I was running out of the defensive 50 line once. The ball got kicked to me, and then I thought I was off to the races. I had a bounce, and when I bounced, my hamstring went, and I pulled up like someone had shot me in the leg, and it gave Wayne Carey a chance to chase me down from behind and smash me into the dirt.
So then
The
didn't you
umpire,
feel your
because I
hammy
just still
anymore?
had the ball, but I put my hand up like,
So-
I'm done here. I can't go.
So is doing a hammy you're running so fast that your skeleton's getting away from your muscles?
Oh, that's a great way of putting it, though.
You feel like that?
Is that wow, you're amazing. You're basically an Avenger.
You're striding out
the
so much.
False Hemsworth.
Yeah.
Oh, so directly after the game, you know you're not going to be coming home. So how does that process go with your family? What did you do?
Yeah. So I did it in the second, and I went down to the rooms and did all the testings and things like that, and they were like, yeah, this is... And I sort of knew, you sort of know when your body's not right, that, oh, yeah, it wasn't a standard hammy, it was a little bit more to it than your standard 21-dayer, so...
It was a leg of hammy.
Oh, okay, leg of hammy. Yeah.
I talked to our, one of the people who organised the plane, and I was like, yeah, probably put me back on the flight tonight.
Did they go, no, we've got no room?
And they're like, yeah, lucky we have a chartered plane, which
Yeah.
we don't need tickets or anything.
Yeah.
Oh, so you could lie down?
Yeah.
Okay, because if you're not on a chartered plane and you're
And you're
injured,
in
what
economy.
happens?
Oh, or you just get a normal plane, and then if they're sold out tickets, you don't get on the plane. Like,
Yeah.
Okay,
'cause
right.
I was planning to stay in Melbourne.
Yeah.
And then called, Mum, and I was like, yeah, Mum, I'm going to fly back. And lucky she came down to the rooms, and I had a few boys I was going to stay with that night, and they're pretty upset with me. And
Yeah, I can
things like
imagine.
that.
I can imagine. No one going to cut a sway, then you've
Yeah.
ruined it.
Don't you always think when you've got something that's planned out in every single time something's
swear.
planned out and
Yes.
you're like, oh, you're going to catch up the lads. It's all
Yeah.
you
It
can
happens
think about it.
every time, and then I've got 4 of my best mates coming over next week to watch the game, and I was meant to
you
play,
won't-
and
yeah.
I don't think I'll make that one. So, yeah, it's disappointing, but at the end of the day, that's footy.
So when your 4 of your best mates come over, they all staying with you?
Yeah, they're with
Yeah.
me.
Are they?
So, yeah, it'll be a fun weekend for them.
Where are they all going to be sleeping?
I've got 2 couches.
They're
I've
not
got a
going to be
spare
sleeping,
bed.
Nathan.
Sean is, and they will be sleeping. They were doing respectful things, won't
Yeah,
they, Sean?
hopefully. No, they won't.
I'm going to be able to
trust
hear
them.
it from the
Yeah,
other side of the
exactly.
highway, aren't
You
I?
should bring them in. We should just do an interview with all of them. Yeah,
I
what do
don't
you
trust
think?
them.
Like, no,
Not-
bring
not
them
a
in.
chance, not a chance.
Dus, with the moment you get off the plane, what's been your daily routine with your hamstring?
Yeah, so Saturday night landed and then didn't get much sleep because the first 48 hours after a hammy, you're just icing, trying to stop the inflammation.
So how-
Every couple of hours?
Yeah, I was up every 3 hours icing.
Yeah, it's like having a newborn baby.
What do you
don't
mean?
ice
Like
it.
your alarm would go off and you get up and put ice on
I
it?
wasn't
No,
sleeping
just in your
much
bourbon.
anyway.
Yes.
And then, just icing it. And
So
then,
on for 20 minutes?
yeah, 20. I have this machine that they give you that
okay.
comes and puts compression and cold water and stuff that stays on for
So
about,
like straps around your leg and then it pumps cold stuff
and
into
then
it.
compresses it.
Compresses it.
And does that make like a generator sound throughout the night?
Yeah.
Does it?
Yeah. It's like, what's it called? An ice pro ice.
Price. And it's like a sleeping bag over your leg, just for everybody to visualise.
so
So
a
a sleeping
sleeve
bag,
goes over
and then
it, yeah.
and it
Got
makes
tubes
like
in
it might make like a bit of a whirring sound all night.
Yeah.
And then it kind of pumps up like a blood pressure cuff?
Yeah. So like
for the
compresses
compression.
and that. And then got the scans Sunday, come back, not great results. And then, in the club on Monday.
In the club.
Getting like strength work and tests and all that. And then running Tuesday, and then off we go.
Yeah, so for everybody out there, and this happened to my son has done a hammy just in the last couple of days, but when you do one at this level, you get moving and get mobile
That's
right. It was like
straight
48.
away. So tell people what the running. So you're running. People go, what do you mean you're running?
Yeah, he's just done his hammy.
48 hours after, so the initial 48 hours is icing and making sure you're getting on top of the inflammation, and then after that you're straight into running. So I was running 75 metres on not a quick pace, and doing that, I think 3 sets of 10. It was pretty boring, but that's what you got to do. You just get on top of it, and then a lot of strengthening work around the muscle and trying to get the strength back, because when you do hammy, your strength dies a lot. So that's all this week is just running and getting strength back. Then the next week we bump up another thing and we'll be over.
The Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
No kink shaming around here.
No.
We are asking about people that have very strong feelings either way about feet, because we know some love them and some hate them.
Let your feet flag fly. Sam used to work at a shoe shop, Sam.
Yeah, so I used to work at Zomp, amazing shoe shop.
Okay, yeah, no, mate, go on.
Yeah, I have to name him because, all the Zomp girls out there listening.
Hey, Zomps.
There was a guy who would call all the stores and really go into detail about his wife and and this lingerie that he's bought her, and she needs matching shoes, and then would make the girls try on shoes while he was on the phone and be like, how do they feel?
Oh, so he's not even seeing it.
He's seeing it. What an imagination.
And then so he'd come in before. We weren't sure if it was the same guy, but there was a guy who'd come in.
Yep.
And same story. He just bought lingerie for his wife, and he wants to buy her a sexy pair of shoes. And you're about the same size as her. Do you mind trying these on?
What a coincidence.
Right.
Yeah.
Can I say,
And
guy...
in lingerie?
That guy that was calling the store, that was a hands-free call, wasn't it?
Well, I know whenever he'd call, he was disappointed when I picked him up.
Sorry, mate. Can you put one of these on?
Craig's in Baldarvis. Morning, Craig.
Good morning. How are
Hey,
you guys?
Craig.
Strong
Oh,
feelings
good, mate.
about feet, Craig?
Yeah, I've got the opposite. I've got a bad childhood growing up, so a bit traumatised. So my nan used to get us to massage her feet.
Oh.
And after many, many years of massaging feet, back then it was a whole 20 cents, which you get a nice bag of lollies for.
Yes.
And then I met my wife, and she loved getting her feet massaged. And the first time she asked me, I gave her the story. I said, look, I'm sorry, I just can't. So now she pays our daughter to massage the feet instead.
I mean, did your wife to be offer you a bag of lollies to do it? Because
Yeah.
that might have got you across the line.
That was probably the deal. She probably didn't.
Yeah.
Hey, Craig.
See, the money will get you.
I connect with your story, Craig. My nana didn't used to pay me to to play with her feet, but you know when a nana raises her arm and she's got the excess
bingo
skin,
wings.
the bingo
Yeah.
wings. And then when they get old, it's like an empty sleeping bag. My nana would give me me and my brother 50 cents, and we would just slap her bingo wings.
So they'd just be flapping in the wind.
She enjoyed her bingo wings being slapped, or not slapped like hard, just like like so they would swing.
Yes.
Yeah.
She liked her bingo wings to swing.
Like one of those.
50 cents.
Like 50 cents. Like one of those
That's
executive
so
toys
much
on a
money.
desk.
Yes, Natalie. Yeah,
just
those balls
swinging
that hit
away.
each other.
Yeah. Thank you, Craig. It's Simone's in Lansdale. Hello.
Hello.
Hi,
How you
Simone.
doing?
Have
Great
you
show, guys.
Thank you.
Have you got some insight, Simone?
Look, I'll tell you, I just want to set a scene. So I'm 50. Yes,
Yep.
I've just turned 50.
Congratulations.
I'm on the single scene. Thank you. I'm still alive. I'm on the single scene. I do take very good care of my feet because, let me tell you, the men of Perth love feet.
Really?
Tell me.
And what they love even more, and I always get it now, is red toenails.
Red
I do
toenails.
have a tattoo on my foot, which then people go, mainly obviously men.
Yes.
Oh, what's that on your foot? Oh, yeah, I know where this is going. But even in the shopping centre, like I'll be walking along, so I wear open-toe shoes all year round.
Yeah.
And I'll get stopped by men going, I love your toes. I love your
God,
feet.
Simone. Really?
Yeah.
You must have
Red
amazing
nail
feet.
polish.
That is so
Red
forward.
nail polish.
Hey, Simone,
Yeah.
so when you're with these guys on the dating scene, and then if you're to hook up with them, are they just, what do they do? Do they just go to town on your feet? Or do you let them?
They
What's the deal?
first of all, they do start with going down the leg,
Yeah.
getting the foot,
Yeah.
and then keeping it very PG, do all sorts of things with your feet.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Just,
Lots
just
of
do they do things with your feet with their with just their
Yes.
head, or they don't involve any other part of themselves?
No, they involve all parts of the body. Yeah.
Well, it's a
But
re-
you-
And
but
my-
it's really hard to grip things with your feet.
Well, no, I've learned. Sorry,
I've learned.
PG. No, no. I think it's because they're manicured and they're red. It's
Yes.
the
Yes.
red that
The
gets
red,
them,
yeah.
and the tattoo is just like what's that on your foot?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
the tattoo
That's so
lures them in.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's their
Yeah.
entry.
What is
Yes.
the tat? What's a tat?
Oh, it's just a little symbol. When my husband left me, I said, it's got on there, I think I can, so I do, or something like
Yeah,
that.
right.
Oh, I
And then
thought-
it's got like little birds and.
You should
Yeah.
get a foot tattoo.
Yeah,
on
I
your
thought I
foot.
was just going to say,
Yeah.
lick this.
Simone. Very interesting,
If
isn't
I
it?
think I can, or something like that. I can't even remember now, but it's
Hey-
got like little birds and stuff on it, and they're like, oh, what's that?
pretty.
Yeah.
You thought about making money out of your feet, Simone? Because they
I
sound
have,
amazing.
because,
Okay.
50 single,
Yeah.
life's tough, let's get on and show off our feet. And I've done it before where a guy had a foot fetish, and I even put them in the pool one day and went, oh, now I'm all wet. And I can't even imagine what that did for him.
I reckon.
I would put flowers in between my toes.
Simone.
all
that.
this
Stop it. So
stuff.
there are
Don't
people
give up
listening.
too much info.
There are people
Some guys
listening,
like
Simone.
girls putting their feet into a bucket of spaghetti, and they love seeing
Yeah.
them like that squash spaghetti with their toes. Simone, if you ever get an OnlyFans up for your feet, we will interview you and promote it.
Yes.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Strap yourselves in, everybody. We've got more calls about people that feel strongly about feet. We're going to call this next person, Sarah. Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Good,
Okay,
Sarah.
Sarah, what could you tell us about feet?
Oh, look, I somehow managed to marry a foot guy, and it's actually been the most amazing experience.
Oh.
So he's a lot younger than me.
Yeah.
Like decades younger than me, and he's extremely hot. And I was maybe on some, I think I'm okay, but maybe on some level I was feeling a bit insecure. But the fact that he, on our first date, he clocked my feet, and I think he fell in love with my feet that day.
Yeah.
And it's been like this amazing experience where I've come to the realisation, parts of me might sag or change over time, but my feet are
Feet
probably
don't.
pretty much going to stay, okay.
Yeah.
Right? And the funniest part is, it's like he's got this relationship with my feet that is almost separate to me. So, through the day, he'll want me to, take photos, pose my feet, take photos of them, text them to him. And when I come home at the end of the day, if I've been to the gym or if I've got, stinky sneakers on, the grosser my feet are, the hotter he
Yes.
is.
Wow.
That's
And
another thing.
it makes him just insane. He's obsessed with my feet. And no other woman can, hold a torch for him because I think he feels so comfortable being with me and doing whatever he wants with my feet. That it's just made our relationship, elite.
That is so interesting. Sarah, tell me, how long does a session with your feet last for him?
Look, honestly, if it were up to him, it would be all night long.
Does he neglect the top end of you, or?
No, he's very attentive to
Okay,
all of this
great,
stuff. But
great.
yeah, it's for him just to have some foot time. That's like
foot time?
apex level. That's I'm
foot
done.
time.
That's all I need. I'm all good.
Sarah,
And the
that was-
nastier they are, the better he likes it.
That's so funny.
Sarah, the thing when you said that, over time you change, you get older and things sag
Yeah.
and whatever happens, but your feet always say that's bloody
Yeah,
brilliant.
my
isn't
feet
it?
are not going to really change that much.
no,
They're pretty much
no.
always going to be the same size.
So he'll always be
Yeah.
passionate for you.
Yeah. So when
So he's locked on.
when your feet are say Jimmy, right? So you've just come back from the gym and they're sweating and all that sort
Yeah.
of stuff. We asked the question before. So he's down there having a great time with your feet. Then he comes up to say hello and wants a little kiss. Is that okay?
Look, it's pretty confronting. Although I don't think it's any more confronting than if he's gone down to the JJ town. Is it much more confronting? than that?
you're
I hear where you're coming from.
Yeah,
I hear it. Thank you.
It has taken me a while, and I have to confess to you that, he also likes me touching his feet, and I've had to embrace
Brace it.
Yes.
You've
getting
leaned
friendly
into
with
it.
his feet. Literally, actually, leaning into.
You're leaning-
Do people do his friends
becoming comfortable with that?
do his friends know about his loving of feet, or is it a thing that's
No, I don't
private?
tell
Private.
anyone.
This
Oh,
is
sorry.
deep cover. This is
Deep cover.
Yes.
nobody
Deep cover.
knows.
This is so interesting,
Isn't it?
I could do
Thank
the
you,
entire
Sarah.
show on this.
Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Here's more of our chat with now architectural expert Tim Ross. So, Ross, are people inviting you into their houses now that they know that you are really into this? Are they like, you've got to come and see this house?
All the time.
Yeah.
It's the most common thing people say, can you come and have a look at my house?
How awesome.
And, sometimes I do if I've got time.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a bit weird. Like there's a woman in Tasmania, and I was doing some shows with Kevin McLeod, and she wanted Kev and I to come and stay in a 1950s house in Hobart. And it was like, well, maybe I'm getting in the way. I think you just want Kevin to come and stay. You're 65, that's your jam.
You've got to go through Rosso to get to Kevin
If you're
McLeod.
65, it's marmalade, not jam. Do you have a pet hate about homes? Like, so for me, I mean, I'm talking about places that don't have a scullery.
Yes.
It's when there's no hole for the microwave in a kitchen. It's like we live in a world now where we want clear surfaces, and you want me to put a microwave on a bench. What's your pet hate?
Oh, I'm not super judgy about people's homes because, it is where they live.
Yeah, but microwave holes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a this will surprise you, and you can go to the phones on this one. I haven't had a microwave. Sorry, I'm talking into a microphone. I haven't had a microwave for 16 years, I don't think.
How do you heat up
leftovers?
How do you heat up?
There's a thing called a pot, right?
No, that's in the olden days.
You really are. You're stuck in the 1970s, Rosso.
What about
You tell
frozen
me.
meals?
I don't have them. So, there is a simple
fresh
fact
food.
about this microwave. You don't. There's one thing I reckon it's good for. Two things: heating up Chinese and heating up lasagna. You don't need it for anything else, right? Absolutely nothing else. And by all of those things, Chinese or Indian's the hardest one to do.
Yes.
The rest of it, I have no need for a microwave and can live without it quite happily. And there are ugly things, and the jury's out on whether or not. My brothers and I used to stand in front of them. We had weirdly enough, my mother was an early adopter of nothing apart from a microwave. It was a labour-saving device. It's like, we won't get a VHS, but let's get a national microwave in 1979. And I am sure that it leaked the sort of Chernobyl-level radiation.
Yes.
My brother just standing there watching eggs cook, and then
He glows in the dark now.
It reminds me of the kerosene heaters, Rosso.
Exactly.
Yes.
When we were growing up, people don't realise what a kerosene heater is, and that's like this box, this metal box that you pulled inside, and it had like this dome that would light up, and it was powered by kerosene, and it was so powerful, the kerosene smell, that everyone was. That's why we all enjoyed a country practice, because we're off our heads.
We would crowd around it in our highly flammable pajamas.
Absolutely.
It's insane.
Rosso, with you bringing up the microwave, you sound like a person who has a few other things that you go without that are more.
Are you living a very pure life?
Yes.
Oh, was this me? You want to talk to me about not drinking alcohol anymore? Or is that what you're?
No. Any other mod cons that we would normally go to?
That USU?
No, I've given up drinking too. That's what everyone wants to talk about.
That's not very
Hang up the
1970s.
funnel.
No, everyone hates you.
Oh,
for
that's
that.
why you
My
can
God.
do without a microwave. It doesn't drink anymore. So you go get home and you just put anything in the fridge in the microwave because you're blind and you can't use the oven.
I'm a pretty old-fashioned. No, I don't. I don't have a TV in our lounge room. Like, there's no-
Okay, well, there we
Yeah.
go.
What are you doing there?
Where is it?
He's getting after it.
Do you know? We play as a family. You won't believe this. We play charades.
Oh my God!
fun.
And
Charades.
I'm going to bring up an old show as well. Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah, it's like
this
we're
what-
like an Amish family. No,
Do the
it's-
kids need help? Should we rescue them? What's happening?
No, they like it. I hate. God, get me wrong. I'd put a telly in tomorrow. I'm sick of my kids because they want to talk and stuff, and I go, can't we just watch a current affair as a family?
But when we watch architectural shows or design shows like yours, and you see someone bring them into their lounge room, and it's just got two lounges facing each other, it's like,
Yes.
what do you want me to do?
Now you have to look at one.
Where's the TV?
But and I'm a different guy. There's no doubt about it. I'm a weird cat, but I like a space where we talk to people.
Conversation pit.
Yeah, and I live in a 1950s home, but I don't. It's not like that TV show Back in Time for Dinner.
Yes.
It's not that stuff. I'm not that much of a sort of a Luddite or whatever you call it. But I just think for kids they don't need devices, TV. They need a little more nature. They need less time stuff. AI's coming to take everyone's jobs anyway. So what you need to do is be ready for
Be a gardener,
the land
because they
when
can't
all
take
we're
that.
going to do is paint and put on plays because everyone's...
Surely they're forced to sit down and watch the ABC at 7:30 on Sundays, though.
No, we will sit down as a family. I will make lasagna that I won't be able to reheat the next day.
Eating it stone cold.
And
It's the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
Catching up with Justin Langer at the moment. We had a bit of phone trouble, but as we know that the World Test Championships are taking place over in the UK, over in
Don't
London,
accidentally go to the World Chess Championships.
Oh, no, that's a whole different thing. How long's that going to go for?
I know.
Geez, boring. But, Jay, I wanted to ask you, we're catching up with Ryan Campbell next week, actually, and we know that he's living over there and has been in and around Europe for a long time, and he's coaching Durham. When you played over in the UK, how much fun was it?
Oh, so it was addictive.
Yeah?
You play almost every day. I had 3 years at Middlesex, and I had 3 years playing down in Somerset, which is a little like, it's almost like playing in Margaret River.
Oh, wow.
It was just so beautiful, and you play almost every day. So, yeah, I loved it. I've probably been back to England for about 14 or 15 summers, I reckon. So that's why I'm so much looking forward to leaving on Saturday night and for this series.
So when you're playing every day that intensely, does your car just stink like a dirty gym bag? It would, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah, we used to have chauffeurs by that stage, didn't we?
It's a big deal.
We don't mess
Did
around.
you?
Mate.
Oh,
Like
okay.
having
1,000
all-
apologies. Okay, top hat. Okay, top hat.
Poshed up with the top hat and the bobby hat. Yeah, no, we the change rooms never smelt so good, but the cars were pretty good.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Were any of the girls born in the UK?
No, they weren't. Thankfully, I made sure Sue came back. I don't have any Pommy daughters, but
I don't want to have Tommy
you don't
daughters.
want
You're in
the
the
Poms
ashes
getting
all the
their
time.
hands
No
on
way,
them.
mate.
I don't want Tommy
just
daughters.
being honest.
Yeah.
But it was so funny because the girls, all the cricket clubs, or the clubs that always used to fly all the family over,
Yeah.
and they used to always go business class, right? So
Yeah.
now, in the real world, they're going, well, what do you mean, Dad? Well, is there such a thing as economy class?
Ah,
So
yes.
They got used to it early.
I tell you what,
they're used to it now.
the best thing to do, the best place to be born is in the sky, because then you're a citizen of the sky.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
You know, if you survive it.
Yeah, there's that.
What do you do with... Oh, okay. Where do you...
As if you're in a plane,
Yeah.
so you're not just
No,
flapping
you're not
around.
No,
just
no.
flying.
But then, okay, then you got to go about getting citizenship.
Well, I mean, it would depend on your
No,
parents.
parents,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you'd only want to be an Aussie anyway, wouldn't
Yeah,
you?
that's
so
right.
you'd come
Exactly,
home, you'd
no
fly
doubt.
straight to Australia and become an Aussie, surely.
Oh, 100%.
Surely.
Now, Justin, with the World Test Champs, which is coming up, the Oval is a great place to watch cricket, by the way. But the Ashes itself, can you tell us about the first Ashes Test you played in? And what was it like? Who you faced as the first ball that bowled to you?
Well, it's magic, and it's the first time, and it's a really strange thing because you play at Lords. The first test I played was at Lords, and I took the very first ball of the test match. And unlike every single ground in the world, what happens at Lords, I'm not exactly sure why, but everyone goes silent.
Oh.
Like you've done
Opposite
something
to every
wrong.
other,
Creepy.
usually every other, it's really creepy, and you can actually hear it. You know, the sound of silence, and because every other ground in the world, as the bowler runs in, the
Yes.
crowd builds up. But at Lords, it all goes silent. For those watching the Ashes this year, it only happens at Lords. Listen to the very first ball of the Ashes Test match. Everyone goes quiet. It's the weirdest thing.
Were
So,
you prepared for that? Because
that's
if
what I remember.
suddenly everyone went quiet, I'd think I'd done something wrong.
Yes.
No, and it's true. And it was I remember two balls in my Test career. That one when it went silent, and another one in Bangalore in India.
Yeah.
And the noise was so loud, the complete opposite. It was like I had headphones on with
Yes.
50,000 Indians screaming in my ears. And they're the two balls I remember, from absolute silence to this noise, which was just deafening. And because usually when you're batting, you're sort of you're concentrating, you're almost meditating. You
Yes.
don't really hear the noise. But those two times, the sound of silence and the sound of 50,000 Indians with headphones on, it's you know you're alive, that's for sure. It's
Yeah.
a great experience.
Yeah.
It's hard
Amazing.
to replicate, actually. It's hard to replicate.
So who was bowling to you, that first delivery that you had to face?
Steve Harmison
Yep.
was bowling, and what happened then, that was the first ball, and then a few years later we came back to the Gabba. We got beaten in that series in 2005. We came back to the Gabba, and the very first ball Harmison bowled to me went to second slip.
That wide.
So it was a wide. It was the most bizarre thing. So we went from the first ball at Lords that flew past my nose, and England are all over us, and they're up and about. To the next year later or so, bowls a ball to second slip, and the England are all looking at their toes. We end up winning that series 5-0. That's when a few of us retired. So, but yeah, it's an amazing thing to be an opening batsman in an Ashes Test series. Is like I say, you know you're alive. It is the it is the best feeling in the world, and like I say, it's really hard to replicate that, to be honest.
Nathan, Nat, and Sean in podcast form.
I would like your advice on something.
Don't do it.
it.
I reckon
There's a big part of me saying don't
straight
do
away
it.
without knowing, I'd say cream and antibiotics.
Okay, so I'm doing a bit of a wardrobe clean at the moment, right?
Yes.
So getting rid of stuff. Because there's stuff in your wardrobe that just sits there and you go, I wonder where, and you never do.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and you know me, then I put it away for fishing.
When was the
But now
last
you got
time you
your
went
painting
fishing?
shirts. Have you got your
So
painting
the last time I
shirts
went
as well?
fishing was when the last time I went fishing was when Cambo was doing
Yes.
your job.
So 15 years ago. I don't think you need an array of clothes
I have
for
an
that.
amazing, the Nathan's Fishing
The
collection
emergency fishing
is just,
wardrobe.
ready to launch in any store. All right, so I'm going to get rid of some of the old trackies and all that sort of stuff that I just don't wear, and I want to replace them with some new winter things. Anyway, I've gone
Oh,
on
Jesus.
to
What's he going to buy, Sean?
I know, so this is my problem.
You can't-
So-
The answer's all
Is
of it, Nat.
Does it
Okay.
say juicy on the butt?
No. So I went on to the industry. I went on to Industry Rock because I like the way that their clothes fit.
Yeah.
Okay. So I went on there and I was just going to buy a puffer for Canberra when we go over to the PM.
Yes.
And then when I was there, I thought, wait, then a nice light knit would go well under that puffer. And then I couldn't decide which colour I'd need. So then I was like, there was 3 or 4 of them. Okay, I'll add that. And then I thought, wait, they're hoodies.
So you just bought all of them?
No, I haven't bought it yet, Natalie. This is why.
But
I
you've
need
added
to
3 or
advise.
4 to the list.
So then I hoodies
What
and some
colour's the
tracksuit
puffer?
pants. The puffer's like that tanny colour. You know me. I live in my life in the Yeezy palette.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I thought
A
we
Yellowstone colour.
we cancelled him.
Yeah, but not his palate. So anyway, it's gone a little bit out of control. I have 21 items in my car.
Yeah, no. Check out then. What could go wrong?
Okay.
He's throwing
So just
2
tell me-
things out of his wardrobe but buying 21 to replace them.
So if I goes, can you just give me a reality check? Because sometimes when you're in your own bubble, you need to reach out to people to see if you're being stupid.
Mate.
What?
You don't have Sean McManus money. Settle down.
Oh, we'll talk about that
Natalie
later.
Block, 21 items. The only thing I've ever bought on the internet to this day is these pair of shoes.
Sean,
Yeah, but that's
Sean,
'cause
These
you're-
one pair of shoes.
Sean,
$100.
Sean,
Yes,
Sean.
yes, what
were
what?
you Googling yesterday in the car when I was sitting right next to you?
A friend having a look at a friend's boat.
Sean
No,
was
I was
Googling
not.
$200,000 boats.
Googling.
$200,000 boats.
You are the richest person in this room.
Oh.
And for 15
Okay,
years
Bodie.
that I've worked there,
Okay,
for 14
Bodie.
years I've worked there. You
Okay,
told
Captain.
the world
Okay,
how much
Captain.
money I don't have.
All right, Captain.
And now for...
All right, Captain.
Oh, righto, mate.
Anyway, so
You
anyway,
were
I'm not going to tell you whose boat it
Googling
was.
boats.
That's because it's yours.
That's my
That's
boat.
because it's your
I'll
boat.
get nowhere
Okay,
near it. I
name the
can't
person. Give
afford anything.
the name of the full person.
It was
their
the person who
financial.
we were with yesterday. I'm not going to say
If you
it just in
can't- if
case
you
he
can't
hasn't
name
told
them,
his
then it's not
wife.
real.
Oh, really? You don't want me to hang out him?
Anyway,
Then he'll be driving around with
let me
no
just-
car.
Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hoodies.
Here's the thing. Also, we're going to Canberra for 2 nights.
No, this isn't all for Canberra. Yeah.
No. But
Oh, yes.
Nathan will bring them all to Canberra.
Well, I need options.
that's true.
All right, so I've got 5 hoodies. I thought I'd just chuck some t-shirts in the mix. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 t-shirts.
You've got
I've
quite a few T-shirts
I
already.
know, but I need some more.
No, need.
Want 1, 2, 3, 3 long sleeve just shirts. I've got 3 pairs of tracksuit pants, 4 light knits, and a puffer jacket.
It's
Got any
hard to
Wi-Fi?
believe there is a shade in your palette of tracksuit pants that you don't already own.
I tell you what, industry really find a gap. It may just be a shade off the colour you've got, but they give it a new name like chalk and they go, whoa, okay, I'm in.
23 items?
21
items.
29 items.
$1,258.
I think
Oh,
you
well,
can.
that's a drop in the ocean for you.
Yeah. I mean, obviously,
just take a couple
obviously
of
the
things
cost
out
of
of the
living
pile.
crisis has hit you hard.
Electricity bills? Yeah, righto.
You're right. I'm only going to Google 2 boats today. Okay, quickly. It just ran the room. Is that too much?
Cull it to 5.
You're minted.
This is a podcast of Nathan, Nat, and Sean.
We're just talking to Harry because Harry comes from the Golden Triangle, and we're thinking, okay, so Harry would definitely have his parents pay for stuff,
Even though he's 30.
But Harry, nothing.
You can't count like the leeching off the Netflix account, can you?
No.
No. Apart from that, no, zero.
And then
Free
I
food.
looked around the room, and the other person in here was Sam. And I went,
Who's
"Oh,
also
okay.
30.
Sam.
Just
on,
turned
Sam.
30.
Sam, come over here. Did your parents pay for anything for you still?
Just the car insurance.
You're 30 with a job.
No, he's got a defence.
But Sam apparently wants to pay it.
Yeah, he wants
I
to pay.
did.
But your
Yeah.
dad won't let you.
No, because he thinks that I'm going to forget to pay it and then kill someone and end up in jail.
Has your dad not heard of direct debit? Like,
Yeah, I don't know. It's actually very irrational, but I'm let him be irrational.
Yeah, don't argue that point,
All right,
Sam.
Dad, you win this one.
You've really fought hard for it, Sam.
Yes, exactly. All right, let's go to Dave in Swanbourne. Hello, Dave.
Hey guys, so
Hey, Dave, talk to us.
yeah, another member of the Golden Triangle. However, I'm in that other bit of Swanbourne, which isn't so affluent, if you know what I mean, Shorty babes.
Yeah, I hear you.
So I'm future-proofing my kids right now as we speak.
Yeah.
9 and 6-year-old, boy and girl, and I'm invoicing them. For every little thing that they're doing.
Yeah.
For example, the little man, he hit me up the other day and said, Dad, want to go to Time Zone with my mate?
Yeah.
Can I have some money? And I was like, yep, that's no dramas, mate. Let's crack open the spreadsheet. I'll add it to it. And, mate, when you start ticking over with your own job, be prepared. I'll come knocking.
Yeah, it'll be like a hex stick. You'll just take a little bit out of his pay.
Absolutely, yeah. So, I'm trying to help them, but also help myself so that,
Dave.
later in life they sort it out and they go, hey, Dad, here you go.
Yep. Hey, Dave,
Good luck with that, Dave.
say the 9-year-old, because we're closest to getting some money back from him.
I'm eyeing him off.
How much are we up to around, do you think, now?
Oh, look, ballpark, we're talking around about $80. So
Yep.
I'm pretty keen for his first pay packet just to, put the trench coat on, knock on the door and say, oi, pretty much.
Pay up, I'll get your mum to break your legs.
Pretty much. Oh, yeah, look.
14 days.
He's got free bloody healthcare. He'd be right.
You're paying for it.
Good on you, Dave. Thank you. I like your system.
Fighting back.
In Rockingham. Hi, Rich.
And very good morning to you all.
Hi, Rich.
I have 2 adult daughters, 27 and 23.
Yeah.
One came to me one day as a 27-year-old, borrowed some money off me, put my hand out to get it back, and she said, with a steely eye and a look in her face, and she said, you never pay fathers back.
You never.
That's a universal law, is it? That's good news.
It's in the Bible.
So it gets better than that. My other daughter, who's 23 and works, does menu log.
Yep.
And she's quite good at it. She, works a few days per week. I pay for her petrol, her registration for her car, and her insurance.
And she's doing menu 23 and she's making money. Surely all of that stuff would be tax deductible anyway.
And they both still live at home.
Yeah. Oh, Richard, no board? They're not paying board?
And they're not paying board either, no. You're quite right.
Can I tell you, kids these days, adult children these days have got such a good wicket. I know a lot of it is out of necessity because they can't afford to meet that.
Yes.
But I swear, I wouldn't. If your kids start offering to make you dinner, I'd watch that because I reckon there's going to be a few that are going to slowly start poisoning their parents.
Oh, yeah, I see what
because you know what it is? Because the only thing that's in the way of them having their own home is their parents owning the house they live in.
Yes, that's right.
So it's like, knock your parents off. Mm. I mean, I'm not giving anyone ideas right now. Oh, to be honest, if you don't have a great relationship,
Brian
it
and
is an
Marlene,
option.
watch your backs.
Nathan, Nat, and Shaun podcast.
We had the amazing opportunity to catch up with a man called Dave Fishwick. Now, he started a bank and they've made a movie about it. A real feel-good movie.
Yep.
Think sort of Full Monty vibes, that Northern England kind of
in a real
rags to
small
riches.
town. He did it to to like pump up the community and to make sure that they are looked after because a lot of big banks would ignore them. The first bank license given out in 150 years was to
amazing,
him,
isn't it? But here's the rest of our chat with Dave.
Another thing that I read about you is that are you really going to give away 99% of your fortune so you don't burden your children with your money?
Well, I'm going to give over 90% away, and the reason I'm going to do that is my son's a frontline police officer and my daughter works with animals. And the thing is, if you leave too much money to the next generation, it means that they don't have to go to work. And that's not a good thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave them enough money to do anything, but not too much money to do nothing. It's very important that your kids and their children, I've got 2 grandchildren as well. I've got 2 little boys. And it's important that they can do anything, but not nothing.
What's a sweet
I've seen a lot of people leave a lot of money to next generation wealth, and it's not good.
Okay, a
It
million pounds. Is that
That's a lot.
I don't know
a
if
million
it's
pounds, but that's not you can retire in the rest of your life.
I would
money.
think that you'd come up with a family trust where you're paying school fees and
Yeah.
stuff like that, and
So
educational
it's ongoing.
Yeah.
sectors and whatever.
Yeah,
that costs
I mean, you want to
along the
leave
way.
all the things. You want to leave enough money in case they have a health problem. You
Yeah.
want to leave enough money in case something goes terribly wrong. You want to you maybe help them buy a home. And my children at the moment, like I said, my son's there today. He'll be a front line. He's fighting the baddies there in the UK. And people say, well, are you not worried? Are you not scared? You can't wrap your children in cotton wool. He's out there fighting just like every other police. They're very proud of him.
Yeah.
And, the harder he works and the more he tries, the more I'll help. I'm a big believer in helping, but not too much, because you don't want to create a destined wealth where they just don't have to do anything.
They're not contributing
God, you're
anything
good,
to
Dave.
society.
They need to contribute to society.
Yeah, agree.
Yes.
Dave, can we talk about, you're a self-made millionaire. Can we
Yes.
talk about how you built yourself up from nothing?
From 16,
Sure.
Dave. From 16.
I mean, I was 16 years old when I left school. I had absolutely no qualifications whatsoever, nothing. I was on a building site as a builder's labourer, earning $60 a week. How do you go from builder's labourer to building the first new high street bank for 150 years, and then Hollywood turn up and make a movie about your life?
So Dave,
It's a bonkers world.
Yeah, you're carrying cement and doing all that stuff. So after that, how did you go, no, there's more
what's the
for me,
next
and what
leap?
was the next step?
The next step was I wanted to start a business. I loved business. I loved cars. But I thought, how do you start a business with no money? How do you get to the point where you want to be able to start something with absolutely nothing? How do you go from nothing to something? And I thought, right, think outside the box. So this is what we did. I thought, I want to get involved in cars. I didn't have the price of a gallon of petrol. So I thought, I'll go around all the car garages in the area and I'll find one that will let me take one of the old part exchanges away and bring them back the money after. And I did do. I found a place in Nelson called Bath Street Garage, and he let me take an old car away, and he wanted $140 returning for it, and anything over that was mine. So I took it away, I cleaned it up, I sold it, I then took him the money up, I kept the difference, and then week after week I did it again and again and again until I had enough money to be able to pay him up front. And then I learned another important lesson, that if you pay up front, you can then negotiate a much, much better deal. And that's what I did.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
And then
mate.
went into the minibus business,
the
yeah?
minivans.
Yeah, I mean, it went from one car to another, then from one van to another, and then you just never know when these opportunities come. But when they do, you've got to grab them with both hands, because somebody offered me a minibus, and I thought, I don't want a minibus. Have you no cars? And they said, no, I've got this minibus for sale. So I took the minibus, I scrubbed it, I cleaned it, I advertised it, and people kept ringing up. I'm ringing about the bus. And I thought, wow, eureka, buses. And today I'm the largest supplier of minibuses in the country. So let me tell you, that were a good decision.
Mate, you've
So
just
good.
made many, many good decisions. Everyone's
Yes.
got to go and see Bank of Dave.
So
I have
good.
to say, it's one of the most heartwarming films I've seen for a fair while.
Yes.
And the fact is, you get so much joy from it because you know it
It's
actually
true.
happened,
I
and
know.
it's still happening.
And it's anything that's made in the north
Yep.
of England like that, the full Monty.
Love
It's
it.
got that vibe,
Yep.
the real working class story, rags to riches kind of stuff. It's a beautiful tale, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you so much. I've really enjoyed being part of it.
Dave,
Good on you,
we're going
Dave.
to have you on many more times.
Yeah,
okay?
we'd love to.
And we just love your accent
looking
too,
forward
Dave.
to
It's
it.
a joy.
Yes.
Thank you, Dave.
Hooray!
Bye, Dave.
See you,
See
Dave.
you soon.
Bye.
Ta-ra!
Nathan, Nat, and Sean is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au. Nova.